it going?
Hopefully everybody is doing good and can hear and see us okay. And I have a special guest with me today on our Solo Tools team.
Yeah.
Which is Sydney, who is
Hey guys,
here with
how's
us.
it going? I know I haven't been on too many of the videos, but usually in the background. Yeah, excited to be here.
Yes. Yeah. Excited to have you join us. Yes.
Cool.
And Sydney is very knowledgeable when it comes to utilizing ManyChat. She is very involved with some of our done-for-you solutions, a lot of behind-the-scenes work. So great to have her involved in what we are tackling today with how to limit the number of promotions that you set up for your flows. Big question, one that we get a lot to make sure that you are giving the appropriate amount of discounts to customers, giving them a good customer experience, of course, and imposing a little bit more control so things don't go haywire in your ManyChat flows. So I think with that we can kind of dive in. As you guys join us, of course we are live, so you can ask any questions that you've got as we walk through each step. Sydney has been nice enough to also put together some content to walk you through each one of these steps as well. So we're going to cover this in video and in written format on the Solo.tools blog. There'll be a link to that in the description below. So feel free to check out what is going to help you get this information and put it to best use. So with that, let's go ahead and jump into I'm here in my ManyChat account now. You guys can see here in custom fields. So let's go ahead and walk you through just from the outset how you can set up what you'll need to do to limit your promotions. I see Jonathan's joined us. Hey, Jonathan.
Yeah, how's it going? Glad you're here.
So, and Sydney, feel free to go ahead and walk me through this. So just make sure we clarify each step and where everybody can find this information.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, sure thing. So we're going to be talking more specifically about custom bot fields, which there's actually a really great resource from ManyChat in our blog post that we put together. So definitely check that out if you want to learn more about how you can use custom fields across your account. But if you go into settings, which is where we are right now, you can create custom fields and custom bot fields that will store little snippets of information either specific to each user or what we're going to do is set up a bot field that is accessible by all of your users across your account. So if you go into settings and then custom fields where we are right now, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you can see bot fields. Yep. And we already have our promo counter set up. So basically what we're going to do is create a bot field that will update in your flow every time a user comes through your flow and reduce it by 1 and then create a rule to reset this on a certain time frame. So the first step would be just creating that bot field. So if you click new bot field, you can name it whatever you want. But the most important step here would be to set the type as a number. This will let us decrease it by 1, reset it to a certain number. So make sure you don't use just regular text for that. Make sure you use a number. And then for the value, we can set it to whatever we want. And this will basically be the number of times that we are limiting any action in our ManyChat account. So if you want 100 people to be able to sign up for a webinar, if you want to distribute 50 coupon codes in a day, really anything that you want here, you can set this number. Description is optional, as always. If you want to add a little bit more clarifying language about what this is for, go ahead and set that to whatever you need. So then we'll just click create. And that is it. Now we have our bot field created. And I would say the next step here would be jumping into our flow.
Yep. We're just moving our heads around here so you guys can clearly see sample bot field here created in the bot field section.
Yeah. And then the one that we'll be using for the walkthrough today is the sample promo counter, which you can also see in our account here. But what we're going to do, and the team actually already created a flow that you can download right into your account and then go ahead and make minor modifications so that all the logic is built out for you. This is really easy to implement. So we'll just go ahead and jump into that flow. I think it's the other one. If you go into the counter flow. So this is super simple. Basically all this flow does is it resets your bot field within any time frame that you want to a specific number. So what we have here, the first step is an action step. And if you zoom in there to see it, what we're going to do is set a custom field. So these actions are really powerful. If you click in here, all you can do is choose which custom field you want to use. You can either use a user custom field or a bot field. And then what we're going to do is set the number to a specific number, whatever you want it to be. Some of the other options for the operations, if you want to click in there, you can see if you click operation, you can increase or decrease it. That's not really relevant to this particular flow, but it will be relevant to another flow that we use. So we just want to set it to a particular number. And the way this flow is set up is the first step will go ahead and set that custom field. You'll get a confirmation that the flow is running. And then from there, we're going to move into a smart delay. So this smart delay, you can customize it if you want to distribute coupon codes every day, if you want to set a weekly limit, really any time frame that you want every other day. And then from there, we'll just move into resetting that bot field again. So from here, you'll just be cycling through this flow and it'll reset every day. So super simple. We already set it up. If you guys want to download it, make sure you click the link in the description here to go to our blog post, and you'll be able to save that right to your ManyChat account.
Cool. Simple enough.
Yeah.
Very easy.
Enough. So the next step that we definitely want to take is that we need to activate this flow. So what we've done is created a messenger ref URL, which you can do by going into growth tools, creating a new messenger ref URL. You can see the one for the counter right there. All we did is basically created a link into this flow, and then all you need to do is click that link. You'll be sent to your own personal messenger account, and then basically you are the only one in that flow. So somebody just has to be in it to initiate that. You only have to do that once. Anytime you duplicate the flow, make sure you do that again. Basically just send yourself through it.
Cool.
To kick it off.
Mm-hmm. Simple and as easy as that.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really good primer, and as Sydney alluded to, we now have written, we've got the actual flows ready for you guys, to where you can put this to use, and then really walking through how to set up bot fields to configure and limit your promotions. So again, at a high level, what this really allows you to do is make sure that there's no abuse, both intentional and unintentional, of your promotions. So if you're really doing any type of promotion in ManyChat, this is kind of an integral step.
Yeah,
something we would highly recommend that you take advantage of, and really focusing on that customer experience as much as anything else, because it can be really frustrating if they're going through flows, expecting deals, expecting offers, rebates, and come to find out you have not set any type of thresholds, any limits, any guardrails for that experience, and it can go haywire pretty fast. And then customers end up in ManyChat purgatory. So not ideal. So,
and honestly, this is a little bit more of an accurate, this is basically what people have done to work around this before we had this available, was just turning their Facebook ads on and off, which you kind of get similar results from, but it's a lot more manual. You really have to be on top of it, keeping a close eye on how many coupon codes are being redeemed. You'll have to be in your Seller.Tools account all day checking on those redemptions, or keeping track of how many rebates you're offering. But with this, it'll, with one of the other flows that we have that we'll walk through in a second, it'll send them a message as soon as you've reached that threshold, so that you don't have to worry about manually managing this. And you can dial in on exactly the number of coupon codes you want to give away in a given day. Really just have full control over that.
Yep. Excellent. Great point. Plus, it allows you, I think, when you're using a ref URL, you want to use that in more places and be more liberal with it. And I think this is a good way to make sure that you can use this resource to its fullest, but setting the limitations on the back end, if that makes sense, right? Where once the flows and people are taking part in it, you're not underutilizing a feature. And as Sydney alluded to, it's sort of anti-automation if you're having to constantly worry and check and update and change to really set those limiting factors in there as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Do we want to hop into the other flow and take a look at it?
Yeah, let's walk through how we are going to set this up. And you can add this to any promotional flow that you want. So what we've gone ahead and done is if you go into the counter condition step, this is also available to you. You'll import this into your ManyChat account, but you won't necessarily use this flow. What we recommend doing is copying and pasting these steps, and you'll be able to bring them into any flow that already exists and just replace your first step with this. So Troy, if you go ahead and click edit on this one, we'll show you how to bring this over. So what you see here is we just have a simple filter that checks to see if the bot field has at least one promotion for a given day available, and that's really just based on the number that's in that custom field. So what we're going to do, if you drag this over a little bit, the other way.
This way?
Yeah. We're going to add this action step to our flow as well. And what we're going to do is every time you distribute a coupon code or capture an email address for a rebate, we're just going to decrease that counter by 1. And again, with the beauty of bot fields is that this is consistent across your entire account. It's not user specific. So this is basically applicable to all of your users, and there's no need to manually update it at all. But as we decrease, this filter will just basically make sure whenever somebody's coming into your flow, if there's at least one left in any given day or week or month, it will send them into your flow. And if you see here, send message number 1, you'll basically just send them into whatever your first step was. Or if you go down here to the send message step, if there's fewer than 1, basically 0 promotions left in a given day, it'll send them appropriate messaging like, looks like we've run all of our promotions for the day, be sure to check back tomorrow, or be sure to check back next week. Again, this is fully customizable. So what we'll do, since you're able to bring this into your account, we'll just copy and paste these first couple steps and drop them in the beginning of a flow. So yeah, easy to highlight here. We'll just do Control C on that. Mm-hmm. And then we'll go into our other flows. Let's go into one without the counter. In there, let's do the rank automation without counter. So then we'll go into edit this flow. Really easy to paste these in here. And again, this is a great option too if you're duplicating any of your flows. It's really easy to copy and paste steps in ManyChat. So just use your keyboard shortcuts and you can drop in steps from different flows. Delete, remove anything you don't need. Cool. So what we're going to do, if we click the arrow from yes, not that one. We come over here
first step
and click yes and connect that to our original first step. And then we can remove those other steps and the notes in there. These are just some instructions for when you bring that into. Oh no, we want that one. The no step.
Oops. Did I lose it?
Yeah, we accidentally got rid of that one.
Oops.
All good, but
well, here, I'll just do this real quick.
Yeah.
Let me dash these other ones. I don't mind my deleting, and my mouse does not want to agree with me, so
no problem.
we'll take our time with these ones.
Yeah.
Get rid of these notes.
So basically, if you have at least one left in your counter, you're going to send them into the flow, because that means that you have not run all of your promotions for that day. But if there are no steps, or if there are no promotions left to give away, they'll just get a message saying as much. We've already run all of our promotions for the day, and I think this is pretty familiar language for people in deal groups and people clicking on these types of ads. So definitely nothing unfamiliar here. And then if we do check again, we click this step here, and we'll loop it back to the condition at the beginning. So if they want to check tomorrow, then that keeps them in your ecosystem. They're warm, they're ready to purchase, and then they can check back when you've updated it. And again, I would update this language for your specific time frame. If you're doing greater or equal than, or greater than a week, something like that, just make sure to tell people check back next week or something like that. So we're going to drag the starting step, actually, don't forget that. We're going to drag that to the condition. And now we're going to go over to the coupon code distribution step. We drag this over. So click get coupon code. What we're going to do is add one more action step to this. So click plus action here.
Jeez,
mouse is not agreeing with us
it's
today.
not.
And this one we're going to set the custom field again. So this is the step where we're going to decrease the bot field by 1. So we want to scroll all the way down to the promo counter.
Okay, and now remember, this is the one I created, guys, but this one, we'll use the sample here.
And this is where we want to decrease the number by 1. So this is really helpful. You don't have to set it to any specific number or set up any rules for that. It will automatically tick down by 1 each time a coupon code is distributed.
Cool.
Yep, and that's it. Easy as that. It'll run on its own. And you can set, again, where you would control the time frame as well as the number of codes you're distributing, number of times users can go through your flow. You'll set that in the counter flow itself. And then the decrease in the filtering will happen right within the flow that you've already been using.
Cool. Simple as that. Awesome. Let's see. You guys have any questions as we're going through some of this? I think Sydney's doing a great job of really walking through each and every one of these steps. It's very straightforward, and it's kind of interesting that ManyChat doesn't have a native solution for this. You know, you would think maybe, save yourself a few clicks, but this is kind of still a very much streamlined way of doing it. And I also think you going through the steps serves as that reminder, and then you can get notifications sent to yourself or the appropriate member of your team to where all of this is effectively managed, but it's still automated. You still set it, and you can still sort of forget it and revisit it unless you tweak or optimize your flow, of course, over time.
And again, you're not limited to using this one time. You can set a bunch of different counter flows. Just make sure you create different bot fields, duplicate that counter flow, name it appropriately. So you can do one for one particular ASIN, ranking for different keywords, things like that, and distribute different numbers of coupon codes, different days, and just control your volume really easily that way.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah, cool.
All right. If we don't have any other questions, I think that kind of covers it, guys. Just to kind of recap what we've touched on, where you have access to this in written form on the Solo Tools blog. There is a fresh, brand new article at the time of this video that you can check out that will walk you through these steps. But of course, this video will also help to supplement that. But this way you can really level up some of your flows and make the most of some of those limitations for better user experience, better management of it, Looks like we might be getting some questions. Let me see what kind of questions we're getting here. Jonathan has some questions. Do you know if Zapier lets you set the bot fields, bot values?
I think you would be able to, but the beauty of these actions in ManyChat is you kind of cut out the middleman. Since you're able to do that in ManyChat already, you really don't need to add the extra external steps to trigger a Zap, go into Zapier, set your value for your custom field, and then go back into ManyChat. I definitely recommend sticking to ManyChat and kind of streamlining it, unless you have something really specific where you want to trigger based on another source and you have other rules set up. I know setting a custom field is a rule in Zapier for ManyChat.
Yeah.
So you're able to, but for simplicity's sake, I'd recommend just keeping it in ManyChat.
Yeah, and obviously with the Solar Tools integration, where it kind of cuts out the need for Zapier unless you have a more specific objective, a very clear reason for adding that integration, because as Sydney alluded to, it's just kind of another layer where I would just make sure that there's a specific objective that you're realizing, because with promotions and Solar Tools, you get the date timestamp, you get the use of the codes, you get the integration, and then ManyChat, everything is done and managed natively here in the platform. So you only have those two touch points to still achieve this level of automation. So I think that's more ideal. But if you've got any other questions there, Jonathan, definitely let us know. We'll tackle those as well.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I do think that kind of that covers it in terms of how to get this set up and configured. You guys take full advantage of the flows that have been built out for you. They're within that article, so to allude to that again, it's in the description below. We will keep an eye out for your comments and any feedback. This video again and this live was really driven by your questions, so hopefully you guys see we want to make sure we get you the answers that you're looking for to make the most out of ManyChat, both Solar Tools related and not, because obviously you can just use this without the API. It may not be as awesome, unfortunately, but you can of course still use it if it helps your ranking efforts and code distributions, you name it. So I think if there is not any other questions, we will wrap it up.
Yep.
But thank you, Sydney, for being a great resource.
Glad to join you.
Yeah. So it was awesome to have her on. Thanks, you guys who joined us here live. And again, those who join us after the fact, leave your comments, your feedback, and share this content if it was helpful. Please get it in front of folks that may benefit from some insight, some value that we were hoping to share. Like and subscribe so you make sure you're part of these live pieces of content. Appreciate Jonathan's questions. We answer your questions live. And I think with that, we will wrap it up.
Cool. Sounds good.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.